Well, good evening, my beautifully blessed people, and welcome back. This is part two of the three types of autonomy, and I'm going to be talking about behavioral autonomy, um, emotional autonomy, as well as self government autonomy. All right, cognitive self government autonomy. All right, so I have a lot of notes, so let me just get to it. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. So let's get back to it. All right, so let's start with behavioral autonomy. It is the ability to make decisions and follow through with actions without simply following or copying the decision and making styles of parents or peers. And a lack of autonomy is when you're more controlled by what others do, think, and feel and adapt accordingly. What does this sound familiar? It sounds familiar to a narcissistic behavior, meaning narcissistic manipulation. And this is what happens in the case of sons and mothers. The mother believes that she is superior to others and that she is using her son as narcissistic supply. And when the son gives in and is manipulated, the mother exploits the son. Right. And what I mean by that is that the mother takes advantage of her son's vulnerabilities and creates an imbalance of power and control. Whereas in this case, a son lacks behavioral autonomy because he has been deprived of the ability to make decisions and follow through with his own actions. Now remember, the father is the protector and the provider, and the mother is the nurturer and the teacher. So when he doesn't get that, that's a problem. What happens when young males are victimized through a lack of behavioral autonomy? They realize as they grow and develop that different situations require different solutions, and they become rebellious. And we all know that once a male becomes rebellious, he begins to question his value by violating rules, and those rules which have been set by the parent. And they begin to express their own identity, whereas they have a preference of the type of clothing that they wear, the music that they listen to, social and political beliefs, as well as other things, to prove their value as well as to show their identity because they're being rebellious. And once the rebellion begins, it can become out of control. And once it becomes out of control, it leads to bad behavior, meaning that that same bad behavior as a teen, it leads into their adulthood. All right. So let's talk about the next type of autonomy, which is emotional autonomy. Emotional autonomy is the ability to free oneself from emotional dependence on parents or others and responsible for everything that is done. And when a male lacks emotional autonomy, this is what happens, you guys. He becomes codependent on his mother, and he does not take responsibility for everything that he has done. Mothers who ridicule their sons are largely responsible because it is that mother who has not made the son take responsibility for his actions. And because the mother is the one who created the codependency in the first place, the son actually starts doing all different types of things because he knows that his mother is going to get him out. And the minute he gets into trouble, what does he do? He calls on his mother, and that's exactly what she does. She bails him out. This is very common, all right? Here's what happens in that instance, in that case. In the eyes of the mother, the son can't do any wrong. Some mothers will uphold their sons in wrongdoings no matter what they do. And sometimes they know that their sons have done things, but they don't care because, again, they uphold him in his wrongdoing. A man comes into her life and he tries to establish discipline in the household, and the mother will turn against that man to only show that she can save her son and she's the only one who can do it. And this happens a lot. And when the when the mother is doing this, she's showing others that she is superior to others, that she's the only one who can fix him. He's the only one that that's going to listen to her. And guess what? She's right, because she has set the stage for this type of behavior. The older he grows, he goes out on dates, and sometimes he gets married and relies on the mother to fix his problem. Therefore, the significant other or his wife does not stand a chance. And when they try to do something different, contrary to what the mother has done, that significant other or the wife is betrayed as trying to change him or trying to control him. And the son and the mother accomplish this by ganging up on that significant other or that wife. And when they do that, it creates a problem. The problem that it creates is that the relationship has problems and conflicts and stands very little chance of surviving. All right? So we're going to go to the last thing here. The last thing is cognitive self-government. And what that is having authority over oneself, standing in good relationship to oneself, self-awareness, foundation of consciousness, aware of boundaries, self-approval, the development of a set of constructive behaviors that affect one's use of cognitive abilities to integrate learning process. In other words, when he lacks self-government, this means that as he begins to get older, as you know, some men in their 40s and 50s and 60s, they have bad behavior, which means that they're out of control. And because he has not been taught to self-govern himself, while his mother accepts his behavior, she bails him out. He behaves in a manner with no boundaries and with non-constructive behavior until he is forced to be governed by the system. All right? So listen, all in a nutshell, those are the 3 types of autonomy. And that concludes part 2 of autonomy. All right, guys? Hope you get something from listening. I pray that each and every one of you can take something with you and it resonates with you. Remember to stay prayerful and trust in the Lord. Have a blessed day. We'll see you. Bye now.